on the roast, the coalition moves to shut down the Clean Energy Finance Corporation, and Labor's leadership selection process comes under fire. But first...
In the Victorian seat of Indi, a box has been found containing over 1,000 uncounted votes for independent candidate Cathy McGowan. This follows Clive Palmer's comment that the Australian electoral system needs major reform, setting an alarming precedent of Clive Palmer being right about something. Green Senator Sarah Hanson-Young is suing Zoo Weekly after they published an article which featured a photoshopped image of her head on a bikini model. We won't show you the photoshopped image, so instead, here's a photoshopped image of Zoo Weekly in a trash can. Senator Hanson-Young claims the article suggested that she is not a politician to be taken seriously, meaning she could have lost the votes of all those people who base their political views on what they read in Zoo Weekly. And really, this raises questions about the whole magazine. I, for one, question whether these even are the top 10 hottest celebrity boobs. Former Prime Minister Julia Gillard is set to become an honorary visiting professor at the University of Adelaide, presumably because she misses that question time feeling of speaking to a room of people that aren't listening to her. And after having sandwiches thrown at her at primary schools, we can expect the former PM to be pelted with me goring. Uni students love me goring, the university's vice-chancellor says.
Miss Gillard will make a significant contribution to the university's School of History and Politics.
Particularly with her classes, the Australian Labor Party, girt by dicks, Introduction to Shit-Slinging, and Australian Politics and Globalisation, the New Dynamic. They're not all jokes. Unsuccessful Liberal candidate Andrew Newen has accused the Liberal Party of placing harsh restrictions on his campaign. The candidate for Fowler said,
I was not allowed to talk to anyone. I was told to turn off my phone.
An alarming accusation, especially as it suggests that the coalition gets its policies from ushers at Hoyts. Newen also claims Tony Abbott's campaign staff physically escorted him away when Abbott visited the electorate.
They told me, Andrew, please go home. You can't be here.
You hear that, candidate for Fowler? Stay out of Fowler! For the roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Thanks, Mark. That was really fun. But now to ruin your day. The coalition has confirmed plans to shut down the Clean Energy Finance Corporation, an independently run, government-funded body that has been quietly funding $560 million worth of loans into clean energy programs like solar panels and wind farms over the past 2 months. And it's obvious why it had to go. Apparently. Because despite its clean energy investments actually making money and returning on average around 5.8%, whilst cost of government funds is around 2.8%, something that prompted its CEO to claim, we're running quite successfully, the coalition replied, not successfully enough. Because in these days of global warming and global financial crises, an organisation turning a profit and saving the planet just doesn't cut it. Apparently.
Wonder Dave?
Nick, I have solved world hunger. I stopped Dr. Darcidly from drilling a hole in that puppy. Oh, and I took that $5 you lent me last Tuesday and I invested it in the stock market. So here's your money back, plus the $1 profit, which I made from the investment.
That's only 20% profit.
But it's still profit. I mean, I thought I was quite successful.
Yeah, not successful enough, okay? You're fired, Wonder Dave.
But I was just
Give me a cape. Come on. Yeah.
And so if Mr. Abbott plans to scrap things like the Clean Energy Finance Corporation and the carbon tax, what will he use to fight global warming?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Tom.
I think, is that Wonder Dave's cape?
It's Wonder Nicky's cape now, Tom. Tony Abbott's strategy is twofold. He will be implementing his direct action policy to help lower carbon emissions by 5% by the year 2020, or until they spend $2.9 billion, whichever comes first. It will definitely be the $2.9 billion because Treasury and independent modelling companies suggest the direct action policy will fall several billion dollars short. The second part of his plan to stop climate change has nothing to do with stopping climate change. He will be bringing in his green army for planting native seeds, weed control and creek bank regeneration. So that's planting trees, pulling weeds and cleaning creeks like some sort of Sisyphean Clean Up Australia Day.
And how will that change anything?
Tom, I'm glad you asked. This is the soon-to-be shut-down Clean Energy Bank, filled with all of its renewable energy research and innovation. And this is it once it's been knocked down by the coalition, turning it into a vacant lot. This is that vacant lot 10 years from now, once the trees planted by the coalition's Green Army have grown, and another 10 years when they've cut down those trees and built a road through it. This is the Green Army cleaning that road. And here they are cheesing each other with their champagne flutes because they cleaned that road.
Sorry, hang on. I thought you said they built a road. Why are they on a raft?
Because that clean road didn't stop global warming.
Oh, right. Well, if the Green Army is making the country greener with more trees instead of cooler with less warming, let's head outside to Jazz Twemlow, who was at the Green Army Cadet School.
You missed a spot. Tom, this is a person in the Green Army. Currently, this talking bin with hands is working on cleaning up this riverbed. I'll admit, it's a bold new initiative in tackling climate change, especially when you consider the fact that reducing CO2 emissions is affected by precisely nothing this person is doing.
What?
Shh. If the Earth is going to die, at least it can die pretty. So who is this person? Well, this army, if by army you mean soldiers who have no knowledge about the enemy nor any idea on how to fight them, will be a 15,000 strong force of school leavers and gap year students and the unemployed. So don't worry, climate. Scientists and facts have been fired, but at least a schoolie taking time out from their goon bag has your back. And there are some positive outcomes. Thanks to the litter-picking efforts of the giant Boy Scout behind me, soon this chemically ruined corpse of a river will be entirely litter-free, meaning the ghosts of fish can finally be at peace. Initiatives like this also create great photo opportunities because while you can take a photograph of a cleaned-up footpath, you can't take a photograph of the future you've saved by actually reducing carbon emissions. So, well, future, you're unphotogenic and therefore useless. Back to you, Tom.
Thanks, Jazz. And don't worry, employees of the soon-to-be-defunct Clean Energy Bank, you can join the Coalition's Green Army and prevent global warming by scraping gum off the sidewalks. Well, unless you feel like you're overqualified, then I guess there's always paid medical testing. Finally though, Labor leadership. The task of picking a new leader is sitting right at the top of the ALP's to-do list, followed by Reunite Party and Learn to Trust Again. But it has brought the actual process of picking a leader under renewed scrutiny. A process brought in by Kevin Rudd, who in July introduced sweeping reforms that split the leadership vote 50-50 between party members and the Labor caucus. As Rudd said,
"Make no mistake, this is the most significant reform to the Australian Labor Party in recent history."
the most significant reform, assuming you don't count removing a sitting ALP Prime Minister from office. Twice. But now that they need to choose a new leader, again, the Rudd reforms are copping some flack.
These rules that have been put in place will make us an absolute laughingstock. We've got no leader, no front bench, no shadow spokespersons who are able to lead the debate for us.
There's no toilet paper in the bathrooms, no shadow minister for immigration, no benches up front. The place is falling apart. And see, I had assumed, based on movies, that when a leader resigns or is taken hostage by Gary Oldman or visits Afghanistan, it's just his deputy who takes over. Like in July when Rudd visited Afghanistan and his deputy took over, secretly, for that one day. But when Labor lost and Rudd resigned on Saturday night, Anthony Albanese did not automatically become leader. And whilst it's customary for the captain to go down with the ship, he doesn't have to drag the whole crew down with him.
Captain, the ship, she's sinking.
Yes, I know, and I intend to go down with her.
A very noble deed, Captain.
Yes, one we shall do together.
What?
Solidarity.
No, wait, not like this!
No wonder then that Stephen Conroy is so concerned, saying, "We have a situation where the US might bomb Syria and we have no official party spokesman. We have no leader." And it's not just the ALP. I mean, right now in Canberra, Tony Abbott hasn't been sworn in yet, Kevin Rudd is no longer acting Prime Minister, and there is no current ALP leader. So if Obama decides to bomb Syria and he calls up to ask for our help, who the hell is answering that call in their tracksuit?
Hello. Hey, Obama, how are you? No, I'm not him. I'm the work experience kid. What, you need to deploy 30,000 troops immediately? I don't know, man. I better ask Karen from HR. She's not around. Just go ahead and do it.
And now the Labor Party has less than a week to sort out its leadership issues before the work experience kid is due back at school and Tony Abbott is sworn in as Prime Minister. So get busy electing, Labor Party, because an opposition without a leader has a future about as bright as this. Good night.